All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
We are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you, and you guys know what you're doing. And
All right, welcome into Inside the Game, episode 335. Fabian comes in with a hot one already immediately.
Tie Ryan up and shave his head.
Yeah, wow, that's quite aggressive, Fabian. That is actually quite aggressive. But anyway, welcome into Inside the Game. We do have an episode here today. I know we said we weren't going to do it, but we do have an episode here today and tomorrow as well. No show on Friday, and then we're back up to the regular scheduled programming on Monday. We do have a new time as well. We are going to be doing 9 to 10:30, 90 minutes. That fits the soccer, fits the whole soccer type of vibe and everything. We will mix in the Detroit Lions and how stupid their NFL jerseys are later on in the show, closer towards the end. My name's Ryan Glinsky, James Schofield, our producer here in the building. Fabian says Real Madrid plays today. Yeah, Real Sociedad is going to win. Trust me. Real Sociedad will win today. Trust me. They will. And that is not because I'm a fan of them. Actually, no, I am a fan of them, actually. I am a fan of them. When you get a jersey, when you get a couple jerseys from the team, straight from the team, yeah, you're gonna like Real Sociedad quite a bit. Shout out Real Sociedad. They are my second favorite team behind the Arsenal Gunners. But anyway, James, I know you're excited to talk about this part of. Actually, maybe not excited.
I was about to say,
I wouldn't say excited, but sounds like you're.
No, yeah, I would not say excited.
It's some disturbing news, and we are starting right at 9:00 here today. So it should be a good parlay into the Dolly Parton news after yesterday.
Yeah. So, spoilers. Unfortunately, everybody, if you haven't seen, obviously this isn't necessarily news related or sports related, but kind of is. Dolly Parton, unfortunately.
She performed in halftime shows.
Yeah, exactly. Dolly Parton, unfortunately, did pass away yesterday. According to her family, her publicist, she died peacefully. She was iconic, obviously, for anybody here in the U.S. and obviously also abroad. Not only was she just iconic in terms of the music that she did. I mean, she came up with Jolene. Whitney Houston immortalized her song "I Will Always Love You." She did the movie 9 to 5. That's, starting right here at 9:00. She did 9 to 5, which also had the hit song with it. One of the things that I really loved about her, though, is her humility. So back in 2022, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was trying to induct her. Right?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, it should be here in Detroit. We all agree on that. But
yeah, why is it in Cleveland? Well, I know why it's in Cleveland, but it's stupid.
Yeah, but when she was going to be inducted, she actually respectfully turned it down, the nomination. She said, I'm not a rock and roll person. Like, I'm a country artist. I have done nothing. Maybe if I make a rock and roll album, right? Eventually, they talked her into it, and she gracefully accepted. But still, the fact that she had that humility saying, I'm not a rock and roll star. Just
like the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Why are they in there? I don't know why.
Exactly.
They're a rap group.
So, she did stuff like that. But the thing that I really also loved about her is, obviously, she grew up dirt poor. She
Pigeon
rose
Forge?
to fame, and she didn't forget that. She started, for instance, I think it was her father couldn't read. So what does she do when she gets famous? She starts the Imagination Library, which gets books to preschool kids. My oldest daughter, I don't know if she still has it, but she actually had an Imagination Library book. So she was absolutely iconic. She did those halftime shows before you. I remember you were saying that she was talking about
that was the last
Cowboys.
one I saw, and she could not move. She just stood there and held on to one of the.
She was 80 years old. She's 80 years old, Ryan.
She was in the tightest Dallas Cowboys
That's
cheerleading outfit I've ever seen in my life.
That's how she rolls. And she was self-deprecating too. Like I just watched her SNL. She did SNL back in the 80s. And yeah, the camera was all about the boobs.
Shocker.
And it was just, she was just an amazing woman. And honestly, we lost a saint. So
Yeah, don't forget even Dollywood too. That's a
Yeah.
very fun amusement park in Pigeon Forge. I went there. I got
Yeah.
a massive ear infection, so I wasn't the
Ooh.
biggest fan of Dollywood at that point in time. But no, Dollywood, it's a great amusement ride, and I actually found out listening to a radio show on the way here a lot of cool things that she did that weren't actually that you didn't mention, which was she took. I forget, I don't know what year it was, but Pigeon Forge, I don't know if it's the county or whatever, but she took all the 7th and 8th graders in the area and said, grab a buddy. And they grabbed a buddy and they said, if the two of you graduate high school, you will each get $500. But if one of you drops out, you no longer get the $500, which then once she initiated that, they all took the high school dropout rate went from 35% to 6% because of that.
Yeah.
Then she also there was a fire that happened somewhere in Pigeon Forge or somewhere in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Gave all the families like $6,000 or whatever it was.
Oh,
and
she was donating to the COVID vaccines too. She was actually financing those
oh wow,
when
yeah.
that came out.
Yeah, she did that as well, and I forgot there was one other big thing that she did. But no, she's a saint, as you said earlier this morning before we
Saint
went.
Dolly, Saint Dolly for sure.
But sad to see her go. But they were saying she died of cancer. She said she had early stages of cancer.
Yeah. I mean, they said I can't remember what kind of cancer it was, but yeah, she had a brief battle with cancer. And I mean, she was 80 though. You know. I mean, that's expected. I mean, let's be real.
But anyway, rest in peace to Dolly Parton after all the great things that she has done. But let's get into the show here today. Again, we are going a little bit longer than normal here today, going 10:30, going from 9 a.m. to 10:30 going forward. But yeah, no, I don't know if you have a rundown or if we did that yet today. But anyway, we will be talking about
Negative.
the UEFA versus CONCACAF. They are combining to make a 96-team tournament in the Nations League because of they want to rival Infantino and FIFA based on what they have done recently, and they want to create a tournament starting in 2028. Fabian says the biggest thing she did was do anti-campaign on Messi and Arsenal. She was an Mbappe fan and a Real Madrid fan. Yeah, okay. Fabian saying he actually met her. Do you actually met?
I mean, knowing Fabian, I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, he's a very interesting.
He is the most interesting man in the world.
And then we also got today, Flo Balogun could be on the move to Barca, Aston Villa, Tottenham. Don't know exactly where he's going to end up going. And then we've got a couple of Premier League storylines that we're going to get into after just week one. But yeah, no, that is what we'll be talking about today. Let's start off though with the UEFA and CONCACAF stuff. That is the main stuff that we do want to talk about here today. So a couple days ago, which was actually last week when this was reported, but I was on vacation, so didn't really make a video on that either. But UEFA and CONCACAF are reportedly looking at turning their open opposition to Infantino into something far more tangible, a new 96-team Nations League that would sit largely outside FIFA's competitive structure. According to The Guardian, the two confederations have reportedly begun discussions over combining their existing Nations League competitions as early as 2028, creating a cross-Atlantic tournament involving every member association in Europe, North and Central America, and even the Caribbean. And the on-pitch attraction is obvious, as well as getting one up on FIFA. That's the main reason why they want to do this. League A could bring regular competitive meetings between the likes of England, Spain, France, and Germany. And for whatever reason, CONCACAF's leading nations, including the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Don't know why they will do that. But yeah, that is the main reason that they're going to do this. They're doing it after 2028 simply because of the Euros that happen in 2028. So this will take place in the international window. So the international windows of what's the word I'm looking for? September, October, November that you typically see, that will be replaced with those friendlies with the Nations League. And then eventually the March window will have some knockouts, and then the final will be held in June. But that is what they are going after. Fabian says, James, I'm like Caitlin Clark today, going for 36 points while Ryan is doing rebounds today. Me bounce. I'm Angel Reese. I don't know if anyone saw, but the whole Enes Kanter thing was quite funny the other day. How he was just sitting there, and then the other, I forgot her name, but she just started crashing out on him. He actually got escorted out. He's no longer allowed in Chicago Sky. Is that their team name? I don't know what the team name is, but he's no longer allowed into that stadium of WNBA. But I thought it was kind of funny that he was just sitting there. Then the girl scored a layup and then just started crashing out on him, and he's just sitting there. I thought that was kind of funny. But no, I love this, by the way. I love this for CONCACAF. This is not necessarily a UEFA thing, like where this is good for UEFA. This is more of a good thing for CONCACAF. Because again, UEFA, they've got the Euros, they've got their own Nations League, they've got everything that they need. But you think about it from UEFA's point of view. UEFA struggles in the ugly games, if that makes sense. Like if you look at Germany versus Paraguay, they struggle a little bit in terms of that. They struggle in those games. You saw that this time around. You saw, there's another European side that went down early. In Netherlands and Morocco, they went out early. Again, that is another ugly type of game, but they struggled with it. But I absolutely love this because from UEFA's standpoint, they're just trying to one up FIFA. They're pissed off at UEFA. But from CONCACAF, I want to go from CONCACAF. Actually, let me go CONCACAF's point of view a little bit further first. This is perfect for CONCACAF. Combining with UEFA, this is perfect for them. Why? Because you are now going to get these nations, the United States, Canada, Mexico. They're now going to be playing the best teams in the world on a more consistent basis. They're no longer going to be playing Cuba, Guatemala, Curacao. No disrespect to those nations, but they're not playing those little fish anymore. In CONCACAF, those three nations, it's really the U.S. and Mexico. Canada's kind of an afterthought, but USA and Mexico, big fish in a small pond. Now they're going to be playing in Europe, and they're going to be a small fish in a very big pond. They're now going to be playing the best teams in the world. You saw it in this past World Cup. 3 of the final 4 teams were from Europe. Now we're going to go into UEFA or now CONCACAF will have a combined Copa America coming up. Now they have a combined Nations League. Look, the Nations League doesn't mean anything for the US, at least for me personally, because it doesn't mean anything to us. What? We beat Mexico and Canada? Great. So what? We're still going to finish in the round of 16. We now need to get over that hump from the round of 16 into the quarterfinals. Our ceiling has always been the round of 16. And one of the ways that we can get over that hump is playing in the Nations League playing against the UEFA sides on a more consistent basis, and playing against the CONMEBOL sides on a more consistent basis as well. I said let's combine with CONMEBOL, but if we're combining with UEFA, that's a lot better than what it really needs to be. But think about it from the US. They are now going to go up against Spain, England. What does that do? That is going to help them way more. And now the big boys, Pulisic, Balogun, McKennie, those guys, they're going to feel a little bit more inclined to play these games rather than skipping out on a Gold Cup because they're tired and they don't feel like it. We're now going to see these big boy names come up much more consistently. And against these big sides, that's going to create more continuity with the U.S. when it comes to the World Cups, when it comes to Copa Americas. And that is exactly what we need. This is massive news for CONCACAF because CONCACAF combining with UEFA is massive because we get to play these big boys much more often. We get to see what the bar is. We get to see what our standard is against them, and we get to size them up, see how we can compare against them. Do I think we're going to win many games against them? No, I really don't. I really don't think the USA, Mexico, and Canada should even be in League A or whatever they're calling it. But I absolutely love it. And from UEFA's standpoint, it is simply to just one up FIFA. That they're just pissed off at FIFA, and rightfully so, based on what Infantino has been doing recently. But I absolutely love this move from UEFA or for CONCACAF and UEFA. UEFA, this is simply to get mad at FIFA, and from CONCACAF side, this is to just get better competition. Because I'm sorry, when we go in the Gold Cup and it's like, oh, yeah, we just beat Guatemala 3-0. Who gives a shit about it? No disrespect to Guatemala. I'm not trying to disrespect Guatemala in this at all. But who cares about what a victory over Guatemala? Because that does not help the United States get over that round of 16 hump. Guys, watching that Belgium game back, and I'll get to your comments here in a couple of seconds here. But if you go back and watch that Belgium game, and you watch the Belgium game from 2014, and you go back and watch the Netherlands game in 2022, guys, we didn't deserve to be on the field with those sides. We didn't. Because guess what? We got ran off the field in the first 5 minutes against Belgium this year. I'm sitting there in the watch party, and I go, this is bad. This is bad. This is over. We are going to get waxed in this game. And we did. They scored the first 10 minutes. And realistically, they should have scored 2 in the first 10 minutes unless Matt Freese pulled off that absolute wonderful save. And Belgium isn't even one of the best sides in Europe. And we got absolutely waxed by them. Look at Mexico. Mexico, if England doesn't get a red card, that's probably a 3-goal loss. But they get a PK, they get a gift they get a great goal by Quinones, they get a gift of a goal and a PK, and then Kwanzaa gets a red card. Without that, Mexico loses that game by 3 goals. Canada, they were losing 4-0 against Morocco, and I got to hear Jesse Marsh's BS and him saying, "I'd rather be us than them." No, you weren't, Jesse. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying. You got absolutely waxed on that day too to Morocco. You got absolutely belt to ass by Morocco. And I know Morocco's not going to be in this situation, the format of these nation leagues. But think about it. Those round of 16s, we got absolutely killed. Taking these round of 16s, or playing against UEFA, elevates our ceiling. It takes our ceiling just a little bit higher. Now maybe we can close that gap just a little bit. And that's what it's all about. This movement, CONCACAF combining with UEFA, is closing that gap. We got belt to ass in all 3 of those games. All 3 of those nations have. If you go back, Mexico has not gotten past out of the round of 16 since 1986. We've only gotten past the round of 16 one time since World War II. That was in 2002. Canada has it. Costa Rica has gotten further than all 3 of these nations in the World Cup. Than all 3. That's unheard of. But they've gotten past the round of 16s. We just haven't done that. And that, from a nation of our size and the history that Mexico has and the amount of funds Canada's been trying to put into soccer, that's unacceptable to not get past the round of 16 for that long. Fabian says, Team USA need better recruitment and stop pay to play. We went over this. Imagine Shaq at goalie and Ed Reed for defense. I still think pay to play is the lazy excuse. I will always say that. I think that is just the bailout card. Yeah, let's just pay to play. That's the reason. No, it's not. That's not the reason that we suck at soccer. The reason we suck at soccer is a cultural standpoint. 2, it's a development thing. There's been club coaches that have been in the inner cities, that have gone into the inner cities, taken that player and driven them all around, back from the inner cities to the training facility and back into games and back. So again, pay to play is not the biggest issue. It's a part of it, but I don't think that is the main reason. Coach Dash UT, again, first time we've seen him in the chat. Hit the horn for him. James, this is absolutely needed. Constant competition against high-level nations will force the USA to grow talent and recruit better. That's another big part of it. And I've seen some big things regarding the dual nationals. This is a big thing with the dual nationals as well, because Flo Balogun, dual national, Malik Tillman, dual national, Noah Kai Banks was, if we get him. What was the other one? Serginho Dest, that's also a dual national. And I think that might be it. Yeah, I think the 4. Yeah, the 4 should be the dual nationals. There's one more that I think I'm forgetting on a part of the dual nationals, and correct me in the chat if you can think of another one. But dual nationals are a part of the United States men's national team identity. That's just the reality of it. I mean, Pulisic also could have been a dual national. He could have played for Croatia, I believe. Gio Reyna was born in England. He could have been a dual national with England as well. So, and there's certain names out there. Again, I don't know the exact names on the top of my head, but I've been reading someone from Chelsea, someone from, it's someone in the Bundesliga as well. I forget what his name is, but there is a reason why we need to recruit dual nationals better. And if we can go to these dual nationals and say, we could go to a Noah, again, I'm not a person that says, screw Noah Kai Banks from whatever. Like, he dissed us. We don't want him. The USA is not in a position to not take a player of his caliber. Do we really want Tim Ream back there? He got dunked on twice in the game against Belgium. He got dunked on by Chase Adams in the Columbus Crew like 2 weeks ago. We're not in a position in the U.S. men's national team. We are not in a position to say, yeah, no, we're not going to take you because you dissed us. Getting Noah Kai Banks back in here is what we need. Again, Pierre, and everyone has been loving Neil Pierre from Philadelphia Union, what he's been doing recently. He's a very good talent. But if we can take this tournament and we can compete a little bit, That's going to earn our respect just a little bit. Thank you, Coach S, UT. That's exactly what I was going for. The left back from Chelsea. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's the guy I was thinking of. But again, and then we lost, what was his name? Nathaniel Brown, who was the starting left back or right back for Germany this year in the World Cup. We could have used him. I would have been fine with having him out there. I mean, Alex Freeman's a good player, but I wouldn't mind having him out there. And if you look at our YouTube shorts and you look at what Anthony Robinson did, he got absolutely cooked by Cole Palmer the other day in the Premier League. But again, going into this tournament, and if we can hold our own a little bit, that's going to make dual nationals want to play with us so much more. Them playing in UEFA, it will help our stature just a little bit more as well. Because if we're able to play against these UEFA nations on a very competitive, more consistent basis, then these dual nationals will want to play for us much more than if we didn't. Because these dual nationals are like, so the only reason I'm playing for you guys is because I can play in a World Cup every 4 years. But now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we can play against these UEFA teams on a much more consistent basis. We've got Copa America against the CONMEBOL sides. USA is doing exactly what we needed them to do. And what we need them to do is to play against against tougher opponents and in much tougher competitions. Look, the U.S. men's national team 10, 15, 20 years ago, we didn't really have that say yet. We didn't really have that. That's the word I'm looking for. We didn't really say, yeah, we can get out of our own. We can get out of CONCACAF. No, you really couldn't. We have now graduated since then because look what we have done in the Gold Cup recently. Look what we have done in the Nations Leagues. Look what we've done in our region. We've lost the region a little bit over the last couple of years, and that's not a and the reason is because our big boy plays, and that's not an excuse. Our big boy players did not play in those games. It's not an excuse. But what I'm saying is we've lost the region a little bit, but we've taken the region for like 5 years or so. Look, again, wins over Guatemala, wins over Curacao, wins over those teams don't do it for us anymore. Our goal is to get out of the round of 16 and into a quarterfinals, and God forbid somehow we make our way into a semifinals. That's what we need to do. It's all about closing the gap. And if we can do that, if we can compete in the UEFA Nations League, if we can compete in the Copa Americas, we can close that gap. But we have graduated from this whole CONCACAF BS, played in the Gold Cups, whatever it is. We've graduated from that. It is now about taking that next step. It is about getting past the round of 16. It's about getting into a quarterfinals. And if we have to get dual nationals because of it, so be it. Our best player in Flo Balogun is a dual national. He's supposed to be playing for England. So this is a perfect move for the U.S. men's national team and for CONCACAF as a whole as well. And I don't even really want to give Mexico their flowers either. Fabian says, Ryan, come on. We suck because look how much they charge for a season while basketball and football is almost for free. That is not true. Basketball and football, you still have to pay a pretty penny. The only reason that basketball and football is a little bit cheaper is because football only plays they only play from like, well, if you look about it now, I go in my neighborhood, it's all football practices. From now until like November, Thanksgiving time, that's realistically all that they have. They don't play a spring season. And then basketball, they don't practice really. It's all AAU, and they are ruining AAU anyway. It's just games all the time. And you still have to pay a pretty. I played AAU basketball. You still have to. My parents paid a pretty penny for competing in AAU basketball. Look at baseball. Look at hockey. Pay to play is all over the place. And if you look at it, the reason soccer's pay to play comes up more is because we suck at soccer compared to the rest. The only reason pay to play comes up in those in those conversations is because we aren't that good at soccer compared to the rest of the world, or compared to the other sports. Football, basketball, hockey, baseball. Hockey just won the gold medal. Baseball, and they still produce MLB talent all the time. And if you look at the other teams in the the World Baseball Classic, we still put up a really nice fight. We still have MLB talent all over the players. And if you look at teams like Great Britain and Italy, they're all American baseball players. Then you look at basketball, we won the gold medal there. You look at football, no one's ever going to touch us there. So, we are fine in those other sports. The only reason pay to play comes up in soccer is because we aren't good enough, and it's the scapegoat. Pay to play is the scapegoat. The reason why we aren't good at soccer is because of the development and is also because of our culture. We aren't a soccer culture. We just aren't. On a Friday night, I was talking about this with a friend recently, but soccer teams, you could have a high school soccer team and they could go undefeated. They could win championships. They could win state titles. They could go undefeated for 5 years, but no one's going to their games. You could have a high school football team that sucks ass for 5 years. They win 2-3 games. Yep, that place is still going to sell out. It is a culture. People go to football games. You have Northwesterns of the worlds, the Purdues of the worlds that win 3-4 games a year. People still go to their games. People still sell that out. That's just the reality of it. Like, we don't have a culture yet for soccer. We just don't. That's just the reality of it. And our development, I think, is a little bit backwards as well. I think we prioritize the tactics part at a much younger age rather than just getting touches on the ball. Guys, 8, 9-year-olds, they don't care about the tactics. I've seen 8-year-olds have tactics. Who cares what they think? All they care about is getting touches on the ball, and all their parents care about is tiring them out so they go to bed quicker. Like, just let them run around, kick the ball around, get touches on the ball. That's the reality of it.
I think the other thing too that we got to talk about, and sponsorship, bringing that up. Like, you got to think about our sports that we have. Like, how much money does it bring in? Also, because I mean, our soccer here, other than the World Cup, I mean, how much were we getting? Right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about going back to paying to play and all that good stuff. Like, why it's cheaper for football and basketball and everything.
I would say, well, football is very expensive. Hockey's still very expensive.
Yeah.
The reason basketball isn't expensive is because they just play games and it's a very short season compared to soccer. Soccer is a season that runs from August to, when did I end? May? April? May. It's a much longer season. Whereas football, you're going from August to November, and then you go from basketball. It's really just the summer circuit. That's really all it is. But that's just the reality of it. That's just the reality of how soccer works, and the whole pay to play. Baseball, dude, their pay to play is ridiculous. Like, the only reason pay to play comes up is because we aren't good at the sport. It doesn't come up in baseball, hockey, basketball, football because we dominate those sports. That's the reason why. Let's see here. Coach says another dual national that most people don't know is Alexander Staff on Germany. Uber talented striker. Grandparents are American. I have heard of him. That's another name I was thinking about. Swiss says, WTF, you said no more shows this week. Hello. We lied. We actually, in order to keep up with our schedule, we actually have to do a show. We're doing a show today and tomorrow. No show Friday, Monday, back to normal. But yeah, no, that is what we are doing here today. We realize we've got to fit in a couple more episodes to fit our schedule for the remainder of the year.
Plus, we got to use this space. I mean, come on, as much as possible.
The studio is pretty sweet. The studio is pretty badass. I won't lie. James, Will, and John did a very nice job setting this up while I was away. Fabian says, get a bunch of celebs in it, and you will see the following. If you get your girlfriend Taylor Swift jumping in circles, people will follow her. I don't really want Swifties in the game of soccer. Just to be completely honest, that's not a celebrity that I would like. Jeff Bezos is investing in soccer, just not the soccer.
Yeah, not in the U.S.
No, it is abroad. And again, if you look from a business standpoint, the way you get your ROI is by investing in Premier League sides across the pond. Fabian says baseball is free here. Yeah, baseball is not free here. Baseball is very, very pricey still. So again, pay to play is an area where everyone wants to argue and complain about it, but the reason why we aren't good at soccer is from a development and a cultural standpoint. It has nothing to do with pay to play. Pay to play is definitely part of it. Don't get me wrong, but if you look at a cultural standpoint, if you were to ask every single American, I bet you 80%, 75 to 80% of people would say, yeah, I'd rather be, if you were to ask, what sport would you love to go pro in at a young age? 75 to 80% of them would say they'd rather go pro in basketball or football. Baseball, hockey, and then soccer would just be an afterthought. That is just the reality.
And with soccer too, they'd be like, yeah, I want to go abroad. Like, they wouldn't even think to even be here. Like most people are they're going to think, I'm just going to go to Europe and play soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at, and again, the best talent or our best talent has to go overseas. Like that's where the best leagues are. Pulisic, he grew up in the European academies. McKennie, Flo Balogun's not even American, or he's part American. He wasn't born here, but he grew up in England. Tim Weah, another name. Like most of our players, Chris Richards, most of our players, we actually had his youth coach on here on our network. God, probably like 5 months ago. It was actually really cool hearing about his story. But again, the best talent, even Xavier Gozo. He grew up here. He went through the MLS academies, which I think is the best way to do it, is grow up or go through the MLS academies, get consistent game time at a very young age, and then make that move over to Europe. And he's definitely doing that. Hopefully, Julian Hall, Mehmeti, Peyton Miller, all those types of guys. Kevin Sullivan will be going over to Manchester City. Last couple of comments here before we take a break. Coach says a real part of the problem is the gatekeeping in youth soccer. You can start a team, train them properly, create havoc against big clubs, then those clubs entice parents and claim to have a pathway. Well, Coach, that's a very good point. But if you look at the game of soccer all throughout the world, that just happens all the time. The smaller teams get bought out by the bigger teams. The smaller teams lose their best players to the bigger clubs. I mean, we just talked about it with the club food chain. We talked about it there. We talked about it with the whole food chain there with Aston Villa, Newcastle. They got all their players bought out by the big names, and it happens in youth soccer all the time. I've seen my club has taken players from smaller clubs that were really good, and all of a sudden they implemented it in our team to make our teams better. That's just the reality of it, guys. In Europe, this question is answered with 90% soccer. That makes a ton of sense. Fabian, my situation. We're moving because there isn't a pathway here, so my son can get into an academy. Well, yeah, there's so many American academies all around the world or all around the country, whether that's the MLS, the MLS Next, the MLS academies, the USL academies that we worked really closely with. So yeah, no, there is definitely the pathway in America is definitely getting a little bit more clear, but again, it is not a perfect system yet, and I think we're still finding a way to get that perfect system. We're going to take a quick break here on Inside the Game. Again, we could continue this conversation. We can continue this pay-to-play. We can continue the CONCACAF combining with UEFA conversation as well, but we will get into the 5 Premier League storylines if you guys would like to move on. Again, I'm here to talk about what you guys would like to talk about, but we do have 5 Premier League storylines after match day 1, or after week 1, really, that we can get into about that. But anyway, don't go anywhere. 3:35 will continue right after this.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. Live games, highlights, and more each and every day. Only on the National Soccer Network.
All right, 3:35 of Inside the Game continues here. Again, my name is Ryan Glinsky. James Schofield, our producer, in the building here as well. You guys really liked the pay-to-play conversation. No, again, we can continue about that. UEFA and CONCACAF, they are combining, hopefully, by 2028 in their Nations League. Absolutely love it. A couple comments coming in before we get into the 5 Premier League storylines. Let's see here. I would like to know the USL and MLS Next pathway. How does a kid from another country make it in the American route? Because it's so unclear that it's not MLS Next Pro or college. Am I right? Then what? Let's see here. So, I saw that one there. Shout out Celtic, by the way, Dave, for choking in the Champions League qualifiers yesterday. Up 4-0 and then lost. So they were up 4-0 in aggregate, and then they lost 5-4 in aggregate. But so again, you can look at the pathways. Again, college, you can go to college, and again, their whole system is changing. But there's a lot of college players that go into the USL Academy, or that go into like the USL League One or the USL 2 or the USL Championship sides. That happens all the time. MLS Next Pro, it depends what MLS Next Pro, because there's some MLS Next Pros that are in the, what's the word I'm looking for, that are affiliated with MLS sides. There are a few that go into that, but there are a lot of them that actually aren't affiliated with an MLS club. So that's very difficult. I will say this. I think the USL pathway is a much better pathway than the MLS pathway. Why? Because the USL clubs, if you look at them, a lot of them, they don't have the money, they don't have the type of support that those MLS clubs have. And the USL clubs, if you are ready to play, you will play. Like I remember watching Detroit City FC versus Loudoun United, I think like 2022. They had a 16-year-old out there that eventually got bought by Dortmund. Like he was out there playing in the USL Championship game at Keyworth. So if you're ready to play, you will play. And if you look at like the USL clubs all around, I've seen even in the USLW, I've seen 16-year-olds get given a shot. The MLS though, it's a little bit of a different story because there's no pro rel, there's no risk of really playing those kids. I mean, we are starting to see it a little bit with Hall, Mehmeti, and Kevin Sullivan and all those guys, and Xavier Gozo, another name. But I would say the USL pathway is a lot better. It was a lot better suited for that young player than the MLS academies. You could certainly, there's a ton of examples of the MLS players going out there, but if your whole goal is to getting game time as quickly as possible, and at the senior level, I would say probably the USL Academy, the USL route is probably the best way to go. But don't forget, if you play in college, I mean, there's a lot of college players that have ended up in the MLS, a little bit few in terms of recent years. It's not the same as what it used to be, but you look at the college player, a lot of them go into the USL. So there's a lot of players there's a lot of players that would go through. I'd probably go the USL route rather than the MLS route. Move to Europe, LOL. Dave says you lied. You said there would be no more episodes this week. Yeah, we did lie about that. We do have an episode here today and then tomorrow as well. No show Friday, but we in order to fit our schedule and the amount of shows that we have to get in for the year, we do have to do a couple of shows this week. So apologies on that. But yeah, no, did want to mention I did see that. And I was like, damn, Celtic lost. They really choked that one away. Coach says there are very few MLS teams that actually use their academy. UPSL and USL are creating a lot of youth opportunities. 100%, Coach. You're 100% right. That's why I said it. I mean, even looking at one of our USL Academy team, one of the USL 2 sides that we use a lot in AC Connecticut, and doing their USL Academy games as well. You see the pathway that some of those players actually made their way into. What are their names? Nick Santana, Bamfa Fofana was another one, and I think there's another one. But even in the USL 2 season at the start, there were a couple players that, doing my prep work, and I'm seeing they make their pathway. Sporting Jacks is another good one as well, because there's a player, what was his name? Ethan Underwood. I did his USL Academy games down in Bradenton, Florida last December, and he, doing the USL 2 games, the first home game for Sporting Jacks, he was actually starting for them, started a handful of games. He looked very good in the midfield. So you get a lot more youth opportunity, you get a lot more game time, a lot more opportunities early in the USL pathway, the UPSL pathway as well, compared to that MLS Academy pathway. That's just the reality of it. Let's see here. USL just had to go to the Scottish Premier, Hibernian and Hearts. How does a kid from Europe or South America make it into the USL and the MLS? move. You could definitely move here. That's how Yan Diamande got his start into the UPSL. That's another player in the UPSL, Yan Diamande, who was in the UPSL. I forgot exactly the team that he played in, or the team that he played in, then eventually made that move into was it Leipzig? I think it was Leipzig, and now he made the $100 million move into Real Madrid. So that's UPSL is another very good one. Is Atlanta a good MLS club? Swiss striker Briel Embolo going to play there the next 2 years. A lot of people here say that ends his career on the national team because MLS is not good enough. No, because the Atlanta used to be very, very good pre-COVID. Josef Martinez, Miguel Almiron, who eventually made a move to Newcastle. Atlanta United used to be very, very good. They've been struggling recently, but they've been starting to pick up form as of late. You can actually, if you go to our Instagram, there is a NSN South, I believe, NSN Southeast or NSN South. Callum Ewing is actually one of our writers for the network. He covers Atlanta United exclusively. And he actually does a lot of videos like I do that we collaborate on our Instagram. By the way, you guys should follow us on our Instagram at National Soccer TV. We do have a new Instagram account. I don't know why we lost the old Instagram. James, I don't really know how we lost the old Instagram. Yeah,
logistics.
it just happened. So make sure you guys follow our new Instagram account at National Soccer TV. All these clips and all our coaches interviews, which we do have a couple coaches interviews coming up tomorrow and next week. So you guys can see that right here. Let's see here. Dave says that's where the USL can do great. Get a youngster in and sell them with sell on fee for development, fee in place, sell on 1-star player for stupid money, and that could pay the bills for years. That's what I'm saying. Dave knows what's up. I don't know if Xavier Gozo had that though. I don't know if he had that in his I don't know if he had that in the clause. I don't know if Real Salt Lake is getting any money. I know LA Galaxy technically is going to get some money regarding Matthias Albert if Dortmund does sell them. I think there's a sell-on clause there, Fabian, because all I see is people say make videos from when they are 7, 8 years old and keep sending them every 6 months or year, constant videos so they can see. I mean, that's definitely part of it, social media, but definitely moving there is definitely a big part of it. Hopefully you get in front of the right eyes that get you there. But I would say USL, UPSL route is probably the best. MLS completely whiffed on a UPSL product. Maybe people have heard of him. Yeah, exactly. Yan Diamande. How the $100 million man got out of the MLS? I have no idea. Fabian's right. Smash that like button if you've not already. Smash that like button or hit subscribe if you have not already. I'm old. I don't have Insta or want Insta, but thank you. Yeah. No, absolutely. We do have a new Instagram, so please make sure you guys follow it. We're already at like 500 followers or something like that already in just a little bit of time. So again, you guys appreciate it. By the way, I need to clear something up because our Instagram and TikTok has been getting, and our YouTube channel has been getting ridiculed a little bit. The high school soccer rankings. We'll get into this. We'll take a break here in a couple of minutes. Then we'll get into the Premier League pathways. Keep the comments coming. Absolutely love it, by the way. The high school soccer rankings, we do not make the high school soccer rankings. The associations from the state make the high school soccer rankings. This is not our rankings. All I do is I say the top 5 in each division and leave it at that. This is not my rankings. This is not it. So if you are someone that's in the comment section telling me about how stupid I am because the reigning state champion is not number 1, or why aren't we higher up in the list, or why are we even in top 15? Don't shoot the messenger. Please. Just get upset with associations, or just continue to win games, because that is not I do not make the rankings. And it is not my say. I just report them. So Indiana and Michigan, please stop getting mad at me when I say, oh, well, why are we this high up? Please. I didn't make the rankings.
Hold on.
And please be nice to each other in the comments too. By the way, you have a lot of people getting mad at each other.
Did you just parody yourself?
No.
You just did a voice to yourself.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Hey, is what it is. Let's see here. We got a David in the chat now. Special horn for him. I have not seen him in the chat. He is from Tunisia. Yes. Has he made the move yet to Manchester United? I don't know remember he was like very linked with really linked with them, or maybe he's in their academy. I don't know exactly. Yes, Swiss. I did get blamed for some of that. Are those high school people the Arsenal crybabies? No, I heard they're big Real Madrid fans. That's what I heard. That's what I heard about them. But hey, is what it is. About
Anchorman showed up.
Yeah, Anchorman, dude. I just rewatched Anchorman the other day,
I
and
need
it
to
was
rewatch that
or
too.
last week, dude. It's such a great movie.
It is.
Wow, that really escalated fast. Like that got out of hand quickly.
Yeah. I killed a man. Yeah, I saw that with a trident. Yeah, you should probably live for a while. Steve Carell killed a man with a trident.
Is that what is it? Is that Sexy Jaguar? 60% of the time it works.
100% of the time. Or yeah, all the time.
60% of the time it works all the time.
It's so good.
Whammy!
So if you're gonna close out now forever, like, thanks for Inside the Game. I'm Ryan Glinsky.
That's what we should start doing now. We should start getting like all the highlights all the games we do, and all the goals go in. I go whammy. All the goals.
James looks like him. Yeah. So actually, funny story though. Back in the day, for Halloween, my bandmates and I, because I was in a cover band, we decided to go as the newscast from Anchorman. I go all out though for Halloween, like legit. So I was Champ Kind. And I remembered Champ Kind, even though he didn't have his head, even though he had his head.
You know
on,
what?
I knew he had that bald ring. I shaved the middle of my head. I didn't get a bald cap. I shaved the middle of my head and I had the actual bald ring.
That's ballsy.
Yeah, there's a picture somewhere.
You know what?
Internet sleuths, feel free to find it. I'm sure.
You know what?
You know what? Just call my ex-wife. She'll send it to you.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna come in with a cowboy hat tomorrow. I'm gonna come in with a cowboy hat.
Do it.
I love cowboy hats.
Yeah.
I will come in with a cowboy hat tomorrow.
That 10-gallon hat, is that what they call it? The
I don't
10-gallon
know.
hat?
The only hat that I can rock is a cowboy hat because you do not want to see me in a normal like cap
Trucker
like
hat?
this.
Yeah, the trucker hat.
No. The only hat I can rock is cowboy hat.
I'm a hat collector. I've got all the hats.
Rankings are useless. Look at FIFA. Brazil are 5th. No, Dave, these rankings mean a lot. Okay. Anyway, let's step aside real quick. We'll get into the Premier League storylines right after this. So don't go anywhere. 3:35 will continue. Whammy!
Great game footage starts with VIO. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083. Opportunity and a shot and a goal! The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
Alrighty, 3:35. Continue to roll on here on this Wednesday. My name is Ryan Glinsky. James Schofield in the building, our producer. Again, continue to get those comments in there about it. Again, our due time is now 9 a.m. to 10:30, so an hour and a half and a little 90-minute show. That's what we will be doing going forward, and then we'll start to mix in towards the end all the other different sports that we do like to cover, like American football. As that season starts to continue to roll on here. And who doesn't love the Detroit Lions and the Michigan Wolverines? No, it's not a doubt. By the way, do not support the Dallas Cowboys. Please do not. Even though I think their team is actually be pretty decent this year with the defensive line. But anyway, again, smash that like button, subscribe if you have not already. Continue to get it. It is Hump Day. Hump Day. I forgot about that meme back in the day.
Ryan, what day is it? What day is it?
What day is it?
Hump Day!
Yeah, I remember that ad back in the day. That was a good one, dude. I remember going through elementary school and everyone's day hump day. Everyone loved it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't even think we do not have Youth Academy rankings. That's what you want to see. We'll have to find that one of these days. But anyway, let's get into what we want to talk about the last 15 minutes ago, which are the 5 Premier League storylines after week 1. This comes from Yahoo Sports. And I made a video on this yesterday, and some people laughed at me, but I think Chelsea's attack is the best in the league. Cole Palmer, Morgan Rogers, João Pedro. You've got the old head, Danny Welbeck. Their attack is very, very good. Now, where they struggle is defensively, and their goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, is not the best. It's not really the player. It's not really the defense in the back line and the goalkeeping situation that could really win you a league. However, that attack can get Chelsea into the top 3, even if they can rival a top 2, depending on how good Manchester City and Liverpool are. But I mean, Chelsea's attack is probably one of the best, if not the best, in the league when it comes to the Premier League. And again, I thought it's an overpay for Morgan Rogers. I do still believe it is a slight overpay. 117 million is a little bit crazy. Arsenal didn't want to spend more than 80 million on Morgan Rogers. I completely understand it, but that is a very potent attack. Cole Palmer, he rested all summer long because he was not a part of the World Cup squad for England, but he has looked very good in game 1. Absolutely cooked. What's his name? Anthony Robinson. I absolutely cooked the guy. But no, that is a very good start to the season for them. Defense is still a concern as well as it continues. But Xabi Alonso, I think Xabi Alonso got the short end of the stick when it came to Real Madrid. I just think Real Madrid is a very, very toxic place as it stands, especially last season as well. You saw it. Tchouaméni sent Valverde into the hospital. Vinny Jr. and Mbappe arguing all the time. It's just not a very good place. Hopefully, Jose Mourinho can start to steady that ship a little bit. Hopefully, Sociedad pulls out the victory here tonight, or this afternoon, rather. And shout out Real Sociedad because they are my second favorite team. Moving on into the second storyline, as a couple of comments. We'll get to your storylines here in a second. No, Real Madrid's not winning the Champions League. We've already been over that. They're not winning the Champions League. Number 2 is the Michael Carrick honeymoon is over. I would 100% agree with that because the interim tag is now off of Carrick. He is now the permanent manager. He was listed, I think, towards the end of last season. They lifted that tag, but the honeymoon period for Michael Carrick is over. You now have got to get much more consistent results. You now got them back in the top 4. Congrats. You've got to get Manchester United back to that level of standard. And losing to Hull City 2-0 and the way it looked is not the way that you can go throughout the whole season. You will get sacked by Christmas time. That's just the reality of it. And Michael Carrick, you've had a summer transfer window with it. I've been hearing about how great Bruno Fernandes is. I've been hearing about how great this midfield is, but your honeymoon period is now over. You've got to continue to get results. I understand that since he's taken over, he's had like the second most points for Manchester United or any team in the Premier League. That's a BS stat now because you've got to get it done. It doesn't matter. Well, since this time period, we've been the second best team. That doesn't matter. All that matters is what it looks like at the end of the season. And at the end of the season, you were not near the title race. That's the reality of it. And Manchester United, a club of this magnitude, a club of this stature, you've got to be competing for big-time trophies. You got to be making deep runs of the Champions Leagues, and you've got to win stuff. Finishing in the top 4 is not the standard of Manchester United. Maybe it is now because United hasn't done a damn thing in 15 years. But what I'm saying is the honeymoon period is now over. You cannot lose to newly promoted sides the way that they did against Hull City. That was an absolute disgrace what they did on Hull City on Saturday. They lost to Bumblebee FC, as Mark Goldbridge liked to say. Number 3 is Manchester City. Does not look like Manchester City of old. Granted, they did get all 3 points, and 3 points is 3 points. Doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you get it done. And props to them. They were able to score 2 goals in stoppage time, or 2 goals in the last 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it was, to get the victory. I understand it. But Man City in the 2 games that actually mean something in the Community Shield, and then a coach knows, hey, smash that horn for coach, by the way. He says, I hope Man United continues to fail. Damn straight. I also hope Man United continue to fail. But a team that I would like to see fail a little bit more, Man City. That's just what I'm saying. No, Pep Guardiola is not going to manage Team USA. But Man City, in the 2 games that have mattered for Man City this year, they've looked awful in Arsenal and then against Bournemouth as well. They got the 3 points. Again, that's all that matters. But you look at Man City, the quality around this club is a massive massive drop off compared to what it was under Pep Guardiola, and that's expected, especially with losing the greatest manager of all time. I will say that he is the greatest manager of all time, Pep Guardiola, and that's going to be a big drop off with Enzo Maresca. I thought he had a very good 6 months with Chelsea last year before they inadvertently sacked him. I don't know why they did that, but it's Chelsea. They're very stupid all the time. And Man City, I know they got the 3 points, but if you look at the quality of players now, you really look at the world-class players. I would say it's Erling Haaland. I would say Doku. I think Semenyo is starting to cement himself. And Nico O'Reilly is another player that is starting to cement himself. And a lot of the other players are like, it's too early to tell, like Kusanov. It's very early to tell. Phil Foden is falling off of a cliff. Who else is there? Elliot Anderson, I think, is highly mid. They've lost Rodri. They've lost all their key players. They lost Pep Guardiola, the man, which, by the way, if you go back and look at that documentary, man, that guy was losing it towards the end. He was just losing it at the end there. Pep Guardiola. I'm so tired, guys. I divorced my wife. I am so tired. Pep, why are you saying that to the boys? Like, why are you saying that? Ruben Diaz, very mid as well. But Man City, it's not the Man City of old, and we'll see if they can start to pick. Again, this is still just one game. I understand it. It is just one game. And there's still a lot that can happen after the one game. But I'm just telling you, I am just saying that it has just been one game, and this is what I'm just telling you after match day 1. This is all I'm telling you. Number 4 is Aston Villa are going to fall off a cliff this year. I 100% agree with this. Aston Villa has lost damn near everyone, and Flo Balogun may end up on the side here. I just may end up going here in the long run, which I think would be a very good move for him because he would be the out-and-out striker on a weekly basis. But looking at this team, you've got John McGinn. You do have John McGinn, a Scottish legend. Emi Buendia as your striker, which I don't believe is the best option. You've got, I forgot, Onana's out for a long time as well with a torn ACL. Pau Torres, Lindelof, Ian Maatsen, Matty Cash. Again, that's not a bad back four, but realistically, in the going forward and in the midfield, it's just not that great. I think Flo Balogun could really make a very big difference there for them. And now Emi Martinez may be on the way out. He is supposed to go to Chelsea. He's been offered to Chelsea here this morning, according to reports that I read, and he could be on his way out. I think he is a guy that could be on his way out. But no, Aston Villa, after losing, Morgan Rogers. Who else did they lose? What's his face? I just went to Arsenal. Konsa on his way out as well. So Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins could be out. By the way, 100 people have commented on the live stream. Hit that, smash that horn. Appreciate all you guys again. Appreciate all the support, love and support that you guys continue to give the network and the show. We do it for you guys. But again, Aston Villa will probably fall off a cliff. They do have Champions League because they won Europa League. But again, the Premier League food chain that just continues to happen year after year. The small clubs get bought out by the big clubs, and the best players just continue to get bought out by the big clubs. Now into the final match day storyline after week 1 of the Premier League is that the promoted sides are off to a good start. Outside of Coventry City, the Ipswich Town was able to defeat Sunderland 2-1 thanks to their former academy prospect, Jack Clark, actually. I played with Jack Clark on FIFA when I did a Sunderland career mode. Pretty sick, dude. Maybe I should do FIFA career modes now on NSN YouTube. That'd be pretty sick. But then Hull City obviously beat Manchester United. I get it. One game. They're at home. Playing against a newly promoted side away from home in the first game of the season is very difficult to do. I saw it with Arsenal. I saw it with Brentford. When I saw Arsenal lose to Brentford a couple of years ago, I understand it's difficult, but these two newly promoted sides are off to winning starts. And points are hard to come by in the Premier League, especially for a newly promoted side. Sunderland, you saw them go, I think, all the way up into 9th or 8th last year. I think they will start to fall. I think they will not be at the same level as they were last year, but they made some very big strides last season. Leeds United as well. But no, Coventry City will probably go down no matter what. I still think Hull City goes down, but hey, Ipswich Town, they can make some noise this year and go a little bit further up into the table. But those are the 5 Premier League storylines after week 1. You guys have been getting into it a lot in the chat.
Yeah, they have.
Let's see here. Oh my God. You guys missed a lot of chats there, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
catch up, bro. Catch up.
Yeah, you guys have been going in on it. Man United will finish top 5. We have a bet. LOL. Yeah, everyone wants it. I'm not shaving my head, guys. That's all I gotta say is
do it.
I'm not shaving my head.
Right,
I don't know why you guys want me to shave my head all the
bro.
time.
Do it. I dare you. Come on, bud.
Cole Palmer has been playing horrible as of late. Played very good on the weekend. Let's see here. Was too early for Alonso there. I just think I think Real Madrid gave Xabi Alonso the short end of the stick. I really don't think that. That's all I got to say. I just think Real Madrid is just a toxic club, man. I just think they're very, very toxic. Let's see here. Italy will beat. Oh, that's fighting words from Fabian to Swiss. Italy will beat Switzerland. Damn. Hey, to be fair, Switzerland made the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Italy hasn't made it since 2014, and they didn't even make it out of the group stage back then. So, bro, why are you flexing all the Ancelotti 5 Premier or Champions League titles? That's a much different Real Madrid side compared to back then. Benzema, Ronaldo, Prime Bale, Modric, Kroos, Casemiro, Ramos, Marcelo, Carvajal. I think it was Keylor Navas was probably the goalkeeper back then, but it's a much different Real Madrid side. The Real Madrid of old is never coming back because the players that Real Madrid have now compared to back then just isn't good enough. That's just the reality. Real Madrid players are just not that good. It's compared to back then. Mbappe, we know we did the math on killing Mbappe. 1 goal every 233 minutes for him. He just simply is not that good in the big moments for his club. He can score against the small clubs like Getafes and Villarreals and whatnot, but he just can't get it done in the big time moments. That's all I will say. Aston Villa will win Champions League. LOL. That Swiss. That is a very, 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 very bold take. Our bet is you have to delete the short about Man U when they finish top 5. All right, I can delete the short. I don't think Manchester United will not finish out of the top 5. I'm just saying the start that they had was very good. I could easily see them getting into the top 4. I think the top 4. What did I say? I think it was Arsenal, United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. No. It was City, Arsenal, Chelsea, somewhere in there. I think I had Arsenal finish 2nd, City finished 1st, Chelsea finished 3rd, and I think United finished 4th. That's what it was. Ryan, if Sociedad wins or ties today, I hope you get a bad case of diarrhea. Damn, wow, that's just wishing. Wow, I don't want that, but anyway, we'll step aside here for 3:35 on Inside the Game. We'll talk about Flo Balogun and where he could potentially be making a move, whether into Barcelona, Tottenham, or Aston Villa. And then we'll get into question of the day, which is about the Detroit Lions. If we have enough time, we'll probably talk a little bit about the Lions to wrap out the show. But don't go anywhere. 3:35. We'll continue.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. Live games, highlights, and more each and every day. Only on the National Soccer Network.
Okay.
Orange
So you can
Slices
hear me
is
if I'm
brought to you
talking,
by
right?
FanDuel. Baseball fans, think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. And don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action on FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. 21 and over, select state. Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcast.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Great game footage starts with Veo.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your Veo footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Veo experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, Inside the Game, final half hour here on the National Soccer Network, 335. My name is Ryan Glinsky, James Schofield, our producer. Yes, we will do one more show tomorrow, no show Friday, as having some family things on Friday. Then we'll be back to a full week on Monday next week. Let's see. Swiss says he's American. He's already had diarrhea already. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
and I think he was replying to me too. He said, "Yes, James. My board's been a little bit weird. I'm trying to get stuff working, and I think it keeps me in for a second."
But no, I have not had diarrhea today. I will tell you that. But again, continue to get those
We've
comments.
avoided lettuce.
Yes, we avoided the Taco Bell lettuce. But yeah, no, continue to get those comments rolling. Absolutely love the feedback from you guys here today. And continue to smash that like button and subscribe if you have not already. So please continue to show the support, because we absolutely love the support and we love the feedback that we've been having on the show recently. So Fabian is talking about Messi fighting. I don't know if we did talk about that on Monday. I don't recall, but we can definitely talk.
I know we were talking about like the Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, we were talking a little bit, but I don't know about any fighting.
Yeah, I don't know if we did.
We were just talking about retiring.
Yeah, no. But we can definitely get into it. We can skip the Flo Balogun stuff for tomorrow. But we can get into.
Oh, what a shocker! Ryan's going to talk about Messi.
When you're the greatest player of all time, you get talked about quite a bit. And Lionel Messi, the greatest player of all time. But anyway, we can get into the Messi stuff. If you look at last week when we didn't have the show, he got into Inter Miami really got into it, but Messi got into a little bit of an altercation with Kevin Sullivan's brother Quinn Sullivan in the last MLS game. And Fabian is right; he's been going around smacking people as of recently. He's had some anger issues, I guess is what you could say, about Lionel Messi. But again, we can go a little bit more in depth on it all tomorrow, because I do want to get into the Lions stuff close towards the end. But Messi has been smacking people a little bit. Has been getting into some altercations, but that's just Inter Miami though in general. Like Inter Miami has gotten to a lot of little physical fights, got into some altercations recently, or even last year as well. Luis Suarez's incident where he spit on somebody and then didn't shake a hand. He got suspended for 5 games or whatever it was. He had a big stuff. And then Javier Mascherano, his whole debacle with, he got a red card. Then all of a sudden he had a phone in his hand and he was sitting up and the game's going on and he's like this trying to talk and he's trying to get tactics, which I'm like, I don't think you could do that because you were suspended all those games. And sometimes I've seen Arsene Wenger, when he was crashing out towards the end, he actually had an earpiece that he was talking with the staff down there on the technical area at the touchline there. But there was no issue with that. But then Mascherano was just on the phone. And again, I think it's just the Inter Miami way with what's going on. And again, Nashville, they got into altercations with. They got into it with the Philadelphia Union. Again, I don't think it's Messi just trying to go after people on purpose. He did get into it with Quinn Sullivan. I think he did apologize after I think they made up after the game as well. But again, just the heat of the moment. It's the heat of the game. Anything can happen in crazy environments like that, especially some high pressure situations with Inter Miami not having the best of starts that they had. Philadelphia Union's really started to take some ground up in the playoff race. But again, that's just what happens, man. I don't think this is all Messi's fault. I think he's also a little bit on edge after the passing of his dad. But again, I think that is just the Inter Miami way. If you look at them recently, if you look at them last year, all the stuff that they were going through. Also, Rodrigo De Paul is involved in a lot of stuff as well. As Fabio like, well, they're Argentina, they're Argentinian, so that happens all the time. But no, I don't think that Inter Miami and Messi, I don't think Messi is the cause of all of this. I don't think Messi is telling people to go out there and fight people. I don't think that's what's going on. But again, I think if you look at since Inter Miami's existence, you could see them. They're a little bit salty. That's what they are. Inter Miami is just a bunch of crybabies. You look at last year with Luis Suarez, as I mentioned, spitting on people, and he's always bit people as it is anyway. Mascherano in the phone, and then you've had recently against Nashville and against the Philadelphia Union where they're getting into altercations, and then you saw the one, which by the way, absolutely love the fight from Kevin Sullivan in those Philadelphia Union games, but. You look at those altercations. It's nothing violent. It's nothing like it's nothing like they're out there to harm people. They're not there to injure people. But they just fight people. I don't know. And that's what makes the MLS interesting at times is because they it's not the best quality out there. And as Swiss Michael mentioned, when Embolo or the Swiss fans were saying about Embolo going to Atlanta, hey, it's where careers die. Well, it's pretty entertaining to see all these fights happen all the time in a weekly basis in the MLS. But that's just what happens. Fights happen, altercations happen just about all the time when it comes to Messi and all that fun stuff and Inter Miami. That's just Inter Miami. They're just a bunch of crybabies. When they don't get their way, they're going to fight you a little bit. They're going to get up in your face. And you look at Rodrigo de Paul, and also there's this, like, when you look at Argentina, you look at like all the teams Messi has played for, like when Messi's on the team, like all these players get like this bubble of delusion and they have to protect Messi at all costs. That's just what happens all the time. And we saw that in the World Cup. We saw that with Argentina. We saw that with Barcelona over the years and their altercations with Ronaldo. And let's see here. Swiss says, I wrote it on your short. Try to find such clips from Ronaldo starting a fight. Ronaldo's been in a lot of fights. So, especially in the Barcelona Real Madrid days. I mean, Messi, you could say he's an instigator, but I mean, does he like get into the altercations all the time? A lot of these players, a lot of these teams protect Messi. And I don't know if the other teams protect Ronaldo, but Ronaldo's been in a lot of altercations. I don't know if he started the fights, but I think there's definitely something where he has started the fights. I mean, you could see the Manchester United Arsenal Invincible days that happened all the time. The Carmen, Savinho Brazilian winger has joined Spurs from Man City for 87 million euros, and he has changed his name again. Carmen, that's a very interesting storyline. Because because I believe Marmoush is also on the way to Manchester City as well. I believe, because if you look at the two sales of, because if I gotta double check if Marmoush is actually on the way out. If they are, hold on, let's see if he's actually going to make us, because there's something. Okay, Tottenham have agreed to Marmoush loan with Manchester City. Okay, so it's not a full sale, but with an obligation to buy for 60 million euros, 82 million next year, sources have told. So there's something interesting about it. Yeah, that is true. That is true about it. So if you actually look into so Inter Miami is the Argentina from the MLS. Oh, yeah, yes they are. So if you actually look into the details of this deal, if you actually look at the fine print, as they say, there is from Marmoush, who came over from Frankfurt to Manchester City, there is a fee. There is a clause in the sell-on for Marmoush. And if Manchester City sells Marmoush for over 60 million euros or whatever it is, they actually have to pay 10 million euros to Frankfurt. Manchester City has to pay 10 million euros of the cost that they just got from Marmoush, because that's a part of the deal that they were able to get Marmoush over from Frankfurt to Manchester City. So the rumor, the conspiracy out there is because, again, Savinho is not worth 87 billion. He's not worth that price. So they are saying that Manchester City is making a deal with Tottenham that you could get both Savinho and Marmoush for the same price, because they are selling Savinho for the Marmoush price, and they're selling Marmoush for the Savinho price. If you guys are following along here, like, stay with me here. Stay with me now. Like, you look at it. They are, because of the whole clause, and Man City does not, it's a very fishy deal. It's Man City, shocker, fishy, and Manchester City, they just happen all the time. But you look at the deal, and if you look at what Man City is trying to accomplish, they don't want to sell that 10 million to Frankfurt because they sold him for over 60 million. They just don't want to do that. But you look at it, and the Savinho price, because he's scored like 2 Premier League goals in his life. He's not worth 87 million, but you know who is worth 87 million is Omar Marmoush. So that is what Manchester City is doing. It's very, very fishy. And that's what they're trying to accomplish. They're finding a loophole here. I low-key respect it a little bit, not gonna lie, but it is very fishy when it comes to Manchester City, and that's what they are doing. That's why Savinho went for that 87 million price tag, and Marmoush will go a little bit less. So that's a very interesting point you brought up there, Cartman, about Savinho going to 87 million for Tottenham. And I will say, Tottenham has actually been building a pretty nice side, but losing to Brentford the other day, again, as Graham Lasso said, they're building an excuse culture out there, and he's not wrong. I mean, they've got good players. Tonali, James Maddison is returned from injury, Van Heck from the Netherlands, potentially Flo Balogun. Like, they're very good players that they have. Marmoush, if they can officially bring him in. But there is, and then even what's the other Dutch defender? I can picture him. Not Van Heck, but the other one. I forgot his name. But I can picture him. The center back, like number 37, whatever it is. Very tall player. But it is very fishy what Manchester City is doing on that one. Swiss, no one is worth the money they pay if we want to open that discussion. No, you're right. I would say Swiss. I think you're right. I think there's some examples where there's players where they didn't get where they weren't even that price tag anyway. Or where I shouldn't say that. Where they cost a lot less than what they actually were. Like Leandro Trossard is one of those players for Arsenal. Erling Haaland, I think, is considered an underpay. I think Declan Rice is considered an underpay for 100 million. But I think a majority of those, Mickey Van de Ven, thank you. Mickey was the other Tottenham defender I was thinking about. So thank you. But I think Van Dijk was worth that price tag back in the day from Southampton to go to Liverpool. So there's a lot of examples where it was an underpay compared to what they produced, and I think there's obviously a lot of examples when it comes to an overpay on certain players. So I think there's a lot of examples of that, but that's just what happens. It's business. Some transfer targets are not going to hit. Some are going to hit. Some are going to absolutely be a bust, and some aren't. So that's just what they are. That's just what they're up to. Last comment here before we take the final break, and we'll get into question of the day and a little bit of the Detroit Lions. Another signing is Man City has confirmed the signing of Biambi from Lille for 95 million euros. It's interesting what Man City's been doing. They've been selling like all of their players. Rodri's gone. They've lost Marmoush, Savinho. Who else have they lost? They've lost some other key players. Reinders has gone as well. So there's a lot of key players of Manchester City that have been sold. And it's like they're players. It's just not the same team anymore. So you wonder at that same quality of talent, that same quality of player, and they're going to continue their dominance in England, which they haven't really been doing in the most recent years. But no, that's a lot of signings. Elliot Anderson, I just think, is a mid signing for 115, 119, 124 million, whatever the exact price tag is. But no, it is an absolute. Man City just continues to spend money. Then they'll spend like 250 million in January because they're struggling to win the Premier League. And obtain that Premier League title. But let's get to wrap up the soccer talk. We'll get into the Detroit Lions a little bit. We'll talk about how crappy their jerseys are as well. So don't go anywhere. 3:35. We'll wrap up right after this.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Great game footage starts with VIO.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, welcome into Inside the Game, episode 335, as we wrap up here on this nice Wednesday morning. Again, my name's Ryan Glinsky, James Schofield, our producer in the building here. Again, continue to smash that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and continue to drop those comments in there because we do appreciate the support that is on the show. And I know Swiss mentioned it earlier, but there was Ronaldo looked pretty furious yesterday coming off at halftime as a substitute. So I'm just saying, is that always all calm and all that fun stuff? I did want to read the statement coming over from Atletico Madrid regarding Julian Alvarez real quick before we get into the Lions discussion. According to Atletico Madrid, this is their words. This is not Julian Alvarez. The player is being victimized, but the only victim of this Julian Alvarez case is us. They have harmed us economically and socially. There's a 0% chance of selling him to Barca. That this situation is not about money, it's about dignity. There's a 0% chance of selling it to Barcelona. There's a campaign with many lies and half-truths. The only one who pays for this is Atletico. So Atletico is throwing the victim card out there. I do believe that they are just a sticky situation. Talked about it yesterday, or talked about it on Monday, and threw it up on social media. The only real victim in this is apparently themselves. Again, you signed the guy. You signed him to a 6-year extension. Apparently, there was a promise made that he was going to be sold to Barcelona, but it is what it is right now. But let's get into the Lions real quick. We've got 7 minutes here. I'm going to just break down their schedule real quick. I'm going to do wins and losses for the season. Regarding the Detroit Lions, hey, if you're an NFL fan, let us know your favorite team in the chat. But no, let's get into the Lions talk here real quick, and then we'll get into the question of the day. But so far for the Detroit Lions, I got them going 1-0 in Week 1 against the Saints. I think they beat them. I think that they lose to the Bills on Thursday Night Football in Week 2. Why? Because you're going to hear us roar. Okay, shout out Katy Perry. Because they are opening up the home stadium for the first time on that Thursday night for the Bills. So I think they go 1-1. They get their revenge on Aaron Glenn. The Jets just suck. They'll beat the Panthers, even though they could be wearing the same exact jerseys. They beat the Cardinals, so they got them going 4-1. And then this is where potentially it could get a little bit tricky for them with all these. Actually, no, not yet. We're almost there at the tricky part. I think that they will beat the Packers this time. So they'll start off the season. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they go 5-1 to start the season. I do believe that they will lose to the Vikings at home because for some reason they do lose to the Vikings quite a bit, 5-2. They will then beat the Dolphins because they are god awful as well, 6-2. I do believe that they will beat. Oh, that's the Patriots. Oh, that's in England. This is where it gets pretty tricky. I think they will beat the Patriots. I do have them going 7-2 to start the season. Then they will lose to the Bucks at home, coming back from England. That's a week rest. I do believe that they will lose to the Bucks. Then they will lose to the Bears on Thanksgiving. So they just dropped 2 games back to back. They will go 7-3. I believe it's 7-3. Then they will bounce back against the Falcons and then bounce back against the Titans as well, finishing it out going. What is it now? Where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I have 3 losses. So 9-3 currently. Sunday Night Football in Minnesota. They'll probably lose that as well. 9-4. They'll beat. Actually, no. They'll split. They'll have to split. So I'm gonna say they beat the Giants at home on Monday night. So going 10-4. I think they lose to the Bears again at Soldier Field. And then they will beat the Packers. So I have them going 11-5 at the end of this season. So that's exactly where I think the Lions will go. I think the Lions will go 11-5, which should mean they will they should win the North with that type of a record. If they do, they'll lose it by a game. Losing both those games to the Bears would hurt them. But yeah, no, that is where I think the Lions are going to go. Swiss says, boohoo, Atletico, life is tough. Get a helmet, LOL. Anyway, let's get into question of the day here, James.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So, I mean, we're already talking about the Lions. So naturally, we're going to have to ask, Sharp Dressed Men, what's up with the Detroit Lions rival jerseys?
Yeah, show the picture of the new jerseys.
Oh, that's right. We have the photo.
God, that is just an ugly, ugly uniform. If you could take off the question of the day graphic.
I'm doing it, Ryan.
Thank you. That is like, they just look exactly like the Carolina Panthers jersey.
Okay,
like that.
But can I make one little thing though, Ryan? We used to be the Panthers.
The Michigan Panthers in the XFL.
No, Detroit Panthers, first NFL season.
Really?
Yep.
We were the Panthers, not the Lions?
We were the Detroit Panthers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
interesting.
It's okay. We're just taking our name back. All right.
Oh, gotcha.
With the jersey, we're taking our name back.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's just I don't know. I'm not a fan of this uniform. I mean, it's better than the black jerseys, to be completely honest with you. I will say the helmets. I do love the helmets. But actually I would probably have the new black jerseys that they were using the last couple of years. I would use that. I'm saying like the old black jerseys from like the 0-16 season. But man, that is just an ugly uniform. If I'm being completely honest with you, that's just
that legit looks like a high school uniform almost.
It does.
Like don't give a higher end high school team, but definitely a high school team.
Swiss saying, show the blue ones, please. I don't think we have the blue ones in the show right now.
Oh, the new the classic ones.
Yeah, I will say that the Lions jerseys are pretty sick. I will say that. By the way, if you're a youth club and want to send us your jerseys, you can. You got the Midwest United one down below, right on the table. You can absolutely show your jerseys up on up here. We do like a little unboxing of the jerseys. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, I would be down with that for sure.
But I don't know. I look at it and I'm just not a fan. Like, I do love the normal blue jerseys for the Lions. Like, and the white ones, I think they're pretty clean. I will say though, I like the white ones with the gray pants. The white ones with the gray pants are pretty badass. Like the ones that they wore against the Commanders this past year, those ones were cool. But like this one right here, I don't know. I'm just not buying it. I'm just, to be fair, I've never owned a Lions jersey, period. I'm just not a jersey guy. I've never even owned a Red Wings jersey. But like, I don't know. I'm just not a big jersey guy. Like, I like soccer jerseys because I can wear those jerseys out in public. But like, if you were to wear a Red Wings, a Tigers, or like if you were an NFL team or an NBA, NHL, MLB team, you got to wear that in a very select setting, which is like going to the game. Soccer, I can wear that jersey wherever I feel like it. Because I can wear that one to the store because it's a very comfortable jersey as it is. Swiss is gonna send us over. I'll tell you, I will never wear a Bears jersey. That's the Bears jerseys are also stupid too. The rival ones that they came out, because these are the Nike rival jerseys, and every NFL team. The Bears ones are also stupid too. They look like the University of Syracuse's jerseys. It's not a good one. Do you have a photo of the blue ones?
I'm getting it.
Okay. We'll show the blue
There
ones
we
up.
go. I got it. I got it. Here you go. I'll give it to you.
Let's see the blue ones.
Those are kind of what they look like.
I like them. I really don't see an issue with them. I think the jerseys are fine.
I mean that's pretty. I like the gray with the Honolulu blue, like the gray stripes and everything. It looks nice.
Yeah, I think it's a good jersey. I think the line. Maybe we'll rank like NFL jerseys tomorrow. Maybe that's what we should do.
Let's do it.
At the end, let's just rank NFL jerseys. But
hey, I'm down with that. I will get all the images, and we'll do a list. And then hey, there's another TikTok video for you that everybody can yell at you about.
Yeah, everyone gets, dude. Everyone gets
Ryan,
mad.
You're such a moron. Honolulu blue, like they're using a freaking color from another state. Like that's the dumbest jersey ever, yeah. Ryan.
Happens all the time. But anyway, that's going to wrap up our 90 minutes here today. Inside the Game, we'll have 3:36 here tomorrow. Same time, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. We will also have a guest on tomorrow that you guys can get a listen to. But anyway, it's going to wrap up Inside the Game. We'll be right back here tomorrow morning. And then no show on Friday. We'll be back to our normal scheduled programming on Monday as we work out the kinks here in the studio. But anyway, until next time, so long.
All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
We are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you, and you guys know what you're doing, and